G'day all, welcome back to the channel. I am back from the mountains and ready to get going again on some more projects. Today we are looking at this here Sony CFD-S01 Boombox. This is one that I'd forgotten was on the pile to be worked on, and we're finally going to get to it today. This actually belongs to my mother, who has been using it for the last little while to entertain her great-grandchildren whenever they come over to her place for a visit. So I can't quite remember offhand exactly what's wrong with this thing, because I've only been off the road from my mountain trip for about a week now, and it's taking me a little while for me to catch up on sleep again, but I believe there was something relating to the power. I don't know, maybe it cuts off or something like that. So we're going to try and get to the bottom of that today. Probably not going to be a long video, which is fine with me because, like I said, tired, but yeah, let's get into this and see what we got here. This is a fairly basic, I don't know, early 2000s boombox, I would say. Maybe 2010s. Nothing special as boomboxes go. This would have been made well after the glory days of the boombox was over. But I guess it does what she needs it to, so that's fine. We've got a cassette deck in it, of course. CD player up here with some Rossini in it, apparently. We'll put that back in there when we're ready to give it back to the owner. But for now, we'll leave it out because we're going to be doing some testing on this. But check around back here. Looks like we've got a battery compartment down here. I don't know if that's ever been used. Let's find out. Yeah, I'm going to say that's never been used. Looks like it takes 6 C cells, which is fine for something like this. Made in China. Just what you want to see on a Sony product. No more made in Japan, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the way things are going these days. Everything's made in China. But whatever. It is what it is. Now, since I seem to recall this being something of a power issue, let's take a look at the power cord here. Not seeing any problems on this end. What about the other end? Oh, well, yeah, that could be a problem right there. Has this been arcing over or something? I don't know, maybe this thing's been drawing too much power or something and caused issues with that. I don't know if I've got a new connector for that, but kind of seemed loose a little bit going in there. It does work, so hopefully it should stay working. But yeah, I'm kind of suspicious already that the issue might be this this connector right here. So let me tell you what, I've got my power meter set up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the unit in to this extension cord, and we'll see what kind of power draw it gives me. I'm doing it through an extension cord because I'd rather ruin an extension cord than anything else. So let's... Oh yeah, that's hard going in. But it does go in. What have we got for power draw? 0.1 watts. Certainly nothing out of the ordinary there. So, let me zoom out a little bit here. We'll bring the meter over here. And we're just going to try turning this thing on and see what we get. Okay, it's in tape mode. 1.2 watts, that's nothing out of the ordinary. Tuner mode, 1.3, 1.4. It's in CD mode now. Yeah, that could be all that's wrong with it, because it needs a new connector on the end of the power cord. So let me play a tape here. See if it will play a tape. I'm not actually sure this has ever been used with a cassette before, but sounded like it was a little slow to engage the fast forward and rewind. Nothing too bad. Oh, we do have an issue. I don't know if you can see it. We've got issues in the LCD. It's not registering all segments anymore. I've had mixed luck dealing with that, but I might be able to work with that if I get inside it. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary here. Let's try a CD. Now the CD I'm going to try with this is extremely rare, and I would be real shocked if it ever gives me a copyright issue. I don't know if you guys know this guy. He's kind of a Italo disco artist from the early 90s. Never had a lot of luck or success, even in the European market where he's more widely known, but yeah, you're going to find out real quick that he's actually rather influenced by Enigma. But yeah, there's no chance this will get a copyright hit, sadly. He's too talented to be as obscure as he is, but I just want to make sure everything works here. So we're going to use Marc for that. Let's see, is this thing even ready to go? Getting 7 point something watts on the power meter. And it did read the CD. So will it play? And it is playing. Strangely enough, we're getting all the segments in the LCD display now. I don't know why that would be. It's only when you adjust the volume that it does that. See, all the segments are there now and working. Very strange. So that kind of tells me that the issue might be not in the display itself, but in the display driver. I don't know exactly why that would be, though. Yeah, it seems like it does work just fine. It's just the power connector on the power cord is all boogered up. I'm not finding any problems at all with the boombox itself. It's just the power cord. So, yeah, like I said, this was probably doomed to be a short video anyway, but yeah, there's no problem with this boombox except for the display segments being out. And quite frankly, I'm inclined not to do anything about that either, so I think I'm going to put this back in. And yeah, this thing just needs a new connector on the line cord. That's all that's going on with it. So once that gets replaced, this thing will be good as new, I think. At least without that. But yeah, that issue is really not worth my time of digging into it and trying to fix it, because more than likely I will screw it up more if I try to fix that. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Now, since this video is turning into a very short one, let me show you what I came back from the mountains with. I visited my very favorite store in Calgary again, and I want to show you what I came back with. That's right, I visited Turn It Up Records and Hi-Fi yet again, and I came back with 7 awesome records. First, we've got The Art of Noise. I was specifically there to find Art of Noise, and this was the only album I could find there. Sadly, I really wanted Invisible Silence on vinyl. They didn't have it that day. It's fine. I'll find it some point. Next up, we have John Cafferty. I remember checking this out from the library back in the 80s, so I was kind of glad to find this as well. I don't know if he's as famous now as he was back then, but I like him, so I got him. Next up, we have John and Vangelis short stories, and I will buy anything I can find from Vangelis, so obviously I bought this one. And it's not the only one. I also found the Friends of Mr. Cairo classic album. This is the one with State of Independence on it. Absolutely must buy for any fan of John Anderson or Vangelis or both. You cannot enjoy the music of either one of these guys without owning this album, as far as I'm concerned. Next up, Paul Hyde and the Payolas. Extremely underrated, especially south of the border. And it's unfortunate that they chose the name Payolas as they did, because this is what limited them from being more successful in the United States. But make no mistake, this guy here, Paul Hyde, absolutely one of the best songwriters going today. I am not kidding. His stuff is brilliant. Even today, even back then, no matter when you listen to him, he is brilliant. And I don't know if you recognize this guy or not, but there's this little band called, I think it's called Metallica. Anyway, they're produced by this guy called Bob Rock. And that's him right there. He played guitar for the Payolas. And immensely talented guitarist. Really talented producer. Don't skip out on any of his work, including this stuff. The Payolas weren't that big in the United States, but they were fairly big in Canada, and there's some hits on here that I recognize. Stuck in the Rain, You're the Only Love. Those two got a lot of airplay up in Canada here. It Must Be Love, that one got airplay. Let's see, what else? Here's the World for You. That song right there, that's the song I wanted for my grad song in 1992. Instead, they went with this stupid garbage song from Michael W. Smith, Place in This World or something like that. I didn't like that song then. I hate it now. Don't remind me it exists. Even though that's exactly what I just did. Anyhow, I have a lot of Payola stuff on cassette. I don't really have anything on CD. I've got this on vinyl now, so that makes me happy. But the next 2 records make me extremely happy. See, you might already know by now from my first Nakamichi video and from my cassette repair video that I'm a massive, incredibly huge fan of Strange Advance. Kind of under the radar in the United States, but I cannot tell you how big of a fan I am of these guys. And what really killed me is while I was in the mountains, they were playing a show in Kelowna, and I couldn't get there. They were playing the show with the Spoons and with Concan, 2 other bands I'm a huge fan of. So it just killed me that I couldn't get out there to see the show. So there I was looking around at Turn It Up Records, and I'll be darned if the guys didn't come through for me. This is the debut, the very first, however you want to say it, album that they produced, Worlds Away. This is the cassette I repaired in that cassette repair video. And I've been looking for it on vinyl for decades, and I just have never found it until now. When I did the cassette repair video, I had found a MP3 vinyl rip somewhere online that I had gotten, and I'd used that one to do the cassette repair video with. But make no mistake, if I'd had this at the time, I would have used this. So yeah, just an incredibly talented band. They just released a new CD a couple years ago, which is every bit as good as every other release they've ever done. So yeah, I was really happy to find this, and I was even happier to find this. That's right, their second CD, or their second album. This is the one with We Run on it, which is the very first song I ever heard from these guys. I can still remember coming back from fishing with my dad and having We Run come on the radio, and it absolutely changing my life forever. So yeah, very, very, very happy to have this. So yeah. But that's it for the vinyl. Now, I guess we'll talk about future projects for a second. I do have a new cassette deck. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but this cassette deck is absolutely a massive deal to me. And it is that one right there. That, folks, is a TAC V900X. 3-head direct drive, only single capstan, but that was TAC back then. But yeah, back in the day, when I was in, what was it, grade 5, I think? I walked into this high-end audio shop in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, called Decabella's, and they had every single high-end piece of gear from multiple brands that you could ever want there. TAC was one of the brands they sold, and I remember just going in there as a 12-year-old kid and standing in front of this very machine for minutes and minutes and minutes and possibly hours, just staring at it, wishing I could just get one of these so I could record my stuff off the radio, and I would have really good copies of music that I could listen to. Because back then I was a preacher's kid, I had no money, and basically recording off the radio was the only way for me to get music, because I just couldn't afford tapes or records, and God only knows CDs were way too expensive for way too long. So I just wished I could have something like this all that time, and here it is, 30-something years later, and I've got one sitting right here on the shelf waiting for me to get to it for my birthday this year, and I cannot wait for that. I honestly cannot wait for that. I can't tell you how excited I am to get to my birthday this year. It's about a month away. Soon, my pretty. So yeah, this I'm probably going to start calling my precious real soon, because that's probably where it's going for this, but yeah, I don't know if this thing is going to outdo the Excelia cassette deck for audio quality. I would honestly be surprised if it did. But it's got a real shot, I'll tell you that right now. There are only 3 models above this for TAC. There's the Z5000, the Z6000, and the Z7000. And good luck finding one of those for any kind of a reasonable price, because I can't seem to do that. But who cares about those? I got the one I wanted when I was 12. It's sitting right here. I've got an idler coming for it. Or rather, I've got 50 idlers coming for it. Along with 50 idlers coming for that Denon DRM3 that's up there. But yeah, hopefully those come and I can get this thing playing on my birthday, because that would just be perfect, I think. I cannot wait to get to that. Have I mentioned that yet? Often enough? But yeah, next week I think we'll finally get going on this Nikon deck. I am really not excited to do this one. I kind of regret buying it, but it was 50 bucks shipped, so I decided I would go ahead and do it and see what Nikon is like. So yeah, I'm going to get this out of the way next week and probably just get rid of it after that. And I don't know about this JVC. It's another one I kind of regret getting, but this one's quick reverse, so who knows? Maybe it'll be decent. But yeah, the Nakamichi is back in service, playing all my tapes just fine. I'm really happy with it, but I'm thinking maybe since I'm up to 550 subscribers now as I speak, maybe I should try looking for the next Nakamichi for the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm having some trouble with that because all of those decks are way too expensive. And it's just starting to occur to me that I'd have a much easier time of getting the Nakamichis I would want if I sold that one. So I'm kind of thinking about that. In terms of what I would want to take over from that one, well, I have this feeling that this Denon up here is going to want to be my main playback deck after I get done with it. So I'm starting to get a massive urge to get into this thing and find out why the heck it won't turn the capstan. So yeah, I'm actually not sure the Denon would stick around for too long either, because this TIAC, I just want to use it so bad. You have no idea. Anyhow, I guess that's going to be it for today. I guess I'll have to go visit the hardware store to get a new plug for this thing. And yeah, this guy's pretty much ready to go as is, so I guess that's going to be it for today, guys. Take care and see you next time.